Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Saturday morning. Big temperature swing out here in North Georgia yesterday was horrid. I mean, we have, for us at least, we had rain and 39 degrees. I think it got a high of 39 degrees yesterday. Wonderful time to work out in the community. Yes, awesome. But definitely endured it. You know, got to do the things. Today, we're supposed to get up to, well, low mid 60s, tomorrow 70. I guess that's March, the month of March. Speaking of which, already in the third month of this year, 2024, which I believe holds a lot of, I'm not going to say surprises, but interesting times. We'll just put it that way. Talk about several things. The Texas wildfire, there's a good little portion of Texas on fire. And I didn't realize it was this big a deal until I really looked at it a little more last night. And I was going to do a video last night, but I fell asleep. I was tired. It's been a long week. Anyway, I'll talk about that. There's some interesting things about that. Okay. Also, surge pricing. I guess I'm late to the game on this. This story came out a day or two ago. Surge pricing, dynamic pricing model. I'll go into that a bit. But first, it seems like ever since I guess the last three plus years, we've just entered a new reality. Everything seems so different, not in a good way, but just altered. And that's really hard to put my finger on it. I know you probably understand what I'm talking about. But it's not just political, it's not just economical, it's not just it's societal as well. It's like every phase of life almost. Now, interestingly, uh, I can speak for here in this house and probably many of you. I think our faith has grown. That's the good part, is that our faith has deepened and our relationship with our Creator has definitely deepened. And staying close to Jesus is more important than ever. I'll go into that too. I've got a good verse towards the end of this video you definitely want to stay tuned for. It's very encouraging. But things seem so different. I mean, people, health, even natural things like the weather and the earth, so it does make one wonder, what kind of phase have we entered here? And it all seemed to start with the health crisis that we had in 2020, early, some could say late 2019 or early 2020. But it's very different. It's more than just a twilight zone. We thought back then, oh, we're gonna be in the twilight zone for a year or two, be out of it. I think it's here for good. Um, Crime, just everything seems and feels. It's a feeling of very, very different, and a feeling of things falling apart. Uh, our systems, our infrastructure, our institutions to a large extent also. So it's hard for me to pinpoint. It's hard for me to really. I guess it's hard to wrap your head around it, but something's way off. Things are way off. Okay, let me know what you think about that. But it sure feels it. You know. Also, disturbing is that I think we've entered a new reality as far as this country, the United States, and you could probably make an argument for Canada as well, all of North America, and some other parts of the world, but focusing pretty much on the United States. Politically, I think we're very close to entering a moment, a time that is a point of no return. I'm typically an optimistic person. I really am. But on this, I'm increasingly pessimistic. Uh, over the last couple of days, especially, it's a realization that, you know, and maybe it was just being naive on my part, but for a long time over the years, I thought we were different than, your political regimes of the Soviet Union, Cuba, Venezuela, the banana republics of the world, Nazi, the Nazi Germany, the Germany of the late 30s and early 40s. And I thought, well, we'll always be different than that. We'll always be better than that. But we're really not. We're really not, y'all. We have political prisoners. We've probably had them for a while. It's just more out in the open now. Now we have journalists, and this has been happening, but journalists being arrested. And for just being on the wrong side. Journalists being arrested for misdemeanors, perp walked, put in leg irons, cuffed, humiliated for misdemeanors. So when I see this, it's a further degradation and assault on not just the First Amendment, but many of the Bill of Rights. They're being slashed. And nobody's much doing anything about it. And from a layman's point of view, and from just a regular guy and lady point of view and family, it's frustrating to watch. But then again, what do we do? What can we do? What do we do? We can vote, we can write, we can email, we can call. But even protesting, it's like, you should be able to have a redress of grievances. But even that, it's like, it does make you pause now, doesn't it? I mean, think about that. Think about that. If we have that much of a fear of our own government, that is very sad. It's very dangerous. I think it's coming to a head this year. I really do. Persecution. We don't want to admit it, but it's here. So when you have a reporter who was present during that little event at the Capitol that time, a few years ago, and at the time he was an independent reporter, and later on he joined the Blaze, which is Glenn Beck's group, if you're familiar with that. It's Christian oriented. So then they go after him, and they did. Leg irons, perp walked for misdemeanors. It's an ongoing situation. But that's what we have. And if they can do that to a person like that, and if they can do that to a person or similar and have all these charges and an assault on a guy who is the biggest leading in the polls and who is the biggest threat to the sitting president, they can do it to you. Do it to me. I mean, what's to stop? Once upon a time, somebody said, it's not me they're after, it's you. I'm just standing in their way. Say what you will, but that's the absolute truth right there. That is the absolute truth. And it's increasing. Them today, you tomorrow. It's possible. So what we do? It's satanic. In my opinion, it's the only way I can describe it. And it's been done through history. But it seems to be different. It seems to be on a new level now. Especially right here. That's just my point of view. That is my opinion. What do you guys think? Also, all right, changing gears here, surge pricing, dynamic pricing model or something. And some of y'all sent me some information on this, and I I had missed this story, I guess. I don't know, and I'm seeing a little bit more now when I look out there and see what's going on in the world. But Wendy's, I know the fast food, and this has really been the story's focused on fast food places, but Wendy's especially had announced like this dynamic pricing. So in other words, during peak times, like the peak breakfast and lunch and dinner times, I guess their pricing on their food could spike up, could increase. They call surge pricing by several dollars at least. It's insane. That's insane. I mean, and you know what? People are going to do it. People are going to pay it because at first you can say, "Well, dog, that ain't going to happen." And ain't gonna have people ain't gonna do. But then again, people, when you look at the Starbucks drive-through, it's wrapped around several times all the time. People are like, I ain't got no money, I'm broke, but they can get the Starbucks. They got their cell phones. They got the alcohol. They find a way to get that, I guess. They're gonna have the fast food. Not me, brother, sister. It ain't happening. Now, here we don't. It's a rare thing that we even eat fast food. When we do, it's Chick-fil-A. You can still, the two of us can still eat there for, gosh, right around 20 bucks. Try some of these other places, even like McDonald's. It might be double that for terrible food. I can remember a day back in the day. Now I'm going back in time, but McDonald's, the hamburgers tasted like real hamburgers. But now, man, no way. But then again, it's been a while since I've even had one. I've even tried them. Taco Bell, we call Taco Hell. Taco Bell, Wendy's. I can't remember. I can't remember the last time I was in one of them places. I don't trust it anyway. I mean, look at the employee, the typical employee of a place like that, and then look at the typical employee of a Chick-fil-A. Okay, that gives you the answer there. I'm gonna walk. I'm walking at a CFA every day when I have that choice. All right, and we don't eat that once every couple of weeks or so. We usually get one of the salads, but anyway, but that's crazy. But and Wendy's is getting some bad press about it, but they're getting pressed. So I think it might hurt them short term, but people are going to have their fast food. I thought it was interesting, but don't do that. Don't overpay, especially fast food, y'all. Gosh almighty, don't do it. It's expensive anyway, even without the surge pricing. All right, I got to go to the Texas wildfire. Texas wildfire is a good part of the state, the panhandle, like that western part of Texas, even looks like even into Oklahoma when you look at the maps of this. But utter devastation. I mean, this happened last week, or started as back in the last week, but continues the way it looks here. We were watching some stories last night. So far, fatalities at least one. There may be more by now, but over 1 million acres of land burned in that part of Texas, the largest fire in state history for Texas. Now, dry conditions and high winds are not helping the situation. Of course, they don't know how it started. That sparks a lot of questions. This is cattle country, y'all. Cattle country. That's another factor in this. The timing is another factor in this. When you've got a lot of focus and media and all that on the border situation down there. The current president went down there, and Trump went down there. I mean, there's a lot of focus on Texas. It's in the news a lot. There's been that standoff between the governor and the federal government down there at the border. You've heard about. So, and Texas is known and had a storied history of independence and individuality, achievement, you name it. Uh, it's under assault. There's no doubt about it. It's a really big state, and it's a really big target, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying we don't know how this fire started, and I'm not coming out and saying for sure, it was something nefarious. However, uh, it does make you wonder, right? It does make you wonder. Now, this could have been totally a natural thing that started, or it wasn't. What do you think? Let me know what you think. But entire neighborhoods have just been wiped off the earth on this thing. We were watching some stuff last night, Ms. Dawg and I, and some drone footage and some stories on it, video, and from a drone point of view, up from the sky, high in the sky, um, it's devastation. It's just, as far as the eye can see, just black, burned. Neighborhoods, places where there were towns, just gone. It's like it was scooped up and done away with. And you can barely find this on the media. It's like you got to dig for it. I'm like, God, I got to dig for this story, you know? I wonder why that is. Now, it's probably more of a story in Texas, I guess. I guess. Over 60 counties have had a emergency declaration, and places are still burning. Firefighters are still battling this thing. Uh, Let me know what you think, but that's something. But the largest fire in state history happening at this time, it does make you ponder. Does make you ponder, right? In Oklahoma, if you're in that part of Oklahoma, or if you're in this part of Texas or down, I know we have a lot of folks in Texas on this channel. Let me know, share in the comments what's going on, what you're hearing there. I'm going to go to the verse. It's a good one. This is one of those I just opened the Bible up to, y'all. Seriously. Opened it up, went right to this. I've already had this marked in the past, but Isaiah chapter 40. I've probably read this one before on this channel, but it might have been a while. But Isaiah chapter 40, starting verse 29. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youth grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Amen. Those who hope in the Lord. Let's keep inviting him into our hearts, and strengthening that relationship. It's not just believing. That's not enough. It's a lot of people believe. Satan believes exists, but it's that relationship, inviting him in, following his lead. We follow him, and through Christ Jesus, we are redeemed also. What a gift. Let's stay close to Jesus. Let's stay safe out there. God bless you. I'll see you soon.